What's up, everyone? Tonight we're doing a recording with Norbert from Blue-Tongued TV over in Europe. And, we want you guys all to support USARK. They're the frontline defense protecting our rights to keep and breed reptiles. Head to usark.org and become a member today because without them, this hobby doesn't have a future. So, Norbert, how'd you get started with Blue Tongues?
Well, Dave, I pretty much got started like everyone else in the hobby, right? Like everyone as a kid was looking for snakes and lizards and frogs and whatnot, right? And I started with dart frogs in about 2015, I would say. I started breeding those, and I had a pretty big collection of those. And then I started moving away from them because it didn't quite work out the way I wanted. Then I discovered ball pythons. So I started with ball pythons. I went into those projects, and I still do. And I still enjoy them, and I have the projects going on and whatnot. And then I discovered Joe Ball, and the kind of the blue tongue bug bit me, right? So I was just dreaming and like drooling all on those black ones, the hypers, right?
Yeah.
And dreaming about them. And I didn't have a bunch of money back then, and I basically bought 4 Irian Jayas just to try my hand at keeping and breeding them. And yeah, time went on. They grew up. I started breeding them. I saw that, hey, this might not be that difficult, you know. And then I met Menno, and I was like, hey, do you happen to have pet hypers? Menno was like, no, 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 het hypers, but hey, I have like the actual hypers. And I was like, wow, really? Like, let's see them. And he shows me them, and I was like, wow, how much for one? And he's like, for 4,000 euros. I'm like, wow, okay, 4,000 euros. I was like, that's my entire life savings, whatever, you know. It was really, really scary. And I was like, okay, if I don't do this now, I will never do this. I knew I wanted to do it. I So I did it. I was like, okay, Menno, let's do this. I'm buying this, whichever. I picked the biggest and the meanest of them all, and
Yeah.
I think I picked the best animal out of that litter because I know some of them went to other people and those animals didn't do as great. And as far as I know, my female, which I picked, and Manos Holdback, which is a male, are the only two ones that still survive and are doing well. So
So,
that's,
what year around it was you first started hearing about Joe Ball, do you think it was?
oh, I think around 2016 or 17.
Okay.
I know the lava was still pretty new back then. There was no patchwork, there was no white-sided. There was, I think, T plus was just starting to be proven out. You know, the big things were the albino, the white northerns, the black ones, of course, the hypers. Yeah, so it was pretty early, even for Australian standards.
Yeah. And then you got yours, what, 3, 4 years ago? Your hyper? Or is it a little
Yeah,
longer?
yeah. The first, yeah, the hyper, I got it about 4 years ago. Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure about its age. It was definitely baby sized, but as far as I know, it came from Asia. It was an Asian import, and yeah, it pretty much I I just I fed my anxiety with it every day, just coming to it, looking at it, and just fucking like I don't know, praying to it that it won't die. Just feeding it very carefully and observing it and watching it grow and thrive. I I kind of had a tough time feeding it for some reason. I don't know. I learned a lot about hypers from Roger, and from my understanding and what he told me is that hypermelanistics are usually very inbred, uh, especially the lines that ended up in Europe because people were very greedy and they didn't do any outcrossings with them. So I knew what I had to do. I knew that this thing works. I have to outcross it to northerns. I have to keep going to northerns. I have to keep outcrossing to lines that are not related. So
Yeah.
I knew that I have a tough road ahead of me.
Well, so it was 2 years ago you got your first heads from them, though.
Yep. It was around 2023, was it? Yeah, yeah. It was my first breeding season with hypers. If you go on my page, I saw you do this in other lives.
Yeah.
I have the actual videos of the pairing that I post. Uh, not long after I bought the hyper, I found a very nice northern breeder in France, and I made a deal with him. I just bought four classic northerns. I brought those home. I grew them up. One of them was a male, fortunately, and I was very fortunate that that male is an absolute unit when it comes to breeding. And he's done a great job breeding. I only had to convince him a little bit with his first year because I had to switch up the females a little bit. He didn't want to breed the hyper female from the beginning. He was I don't know I don't think he understood what that female was at first. So I had to present him another female that was a northern or an eastern to get him going. And right before he bred that female, I separated them and then presented him the hyper female again. And at that point, he was horny enough to actually breed the female. So that's how I managed to do that breeding my first year.
So I was able to find one in 2024. And this was one that you were able to. The how many other breeders you mentioned? You got some northerns from France. Are there
Yeah,
primarily just classics floating around, or
yeah. So that's what I started with. I have my northern male that I have to basically use in case of anything else fails. But now I actually have those heads from 2 years ago. If you want me, I'll pull up the female real quick. I was very fortunate to have a very nice pair of those. So I produced basically seven, right? It was a
yep?
very interesting. It was a very interesting outcome that pairing. I don't know what happened there. So basically, I produced seven heads, right? So
That's
two
still a
of
good
them.
number.
What? Sorry.
That's that's still a good number.
Yeah, good number, but I only ended up with two.
Oh, two
To some-
only made it.
Yep. So two of them got born with reduced tongues, if you can imagine. They basically had very short tongues. They couldn't like eat properly. They couldn't swallow. I had to assist feed them a lot, but they didn't make it at the end. In the end, And then some of them got very weird skin issues, especially when they started shedding. They got they started getting open wounds for some reason, like on their tails, especially on their bellies,
Yeah.
which was very very weird. I didn't know what the hell was happening. I thought it was maybe an incubation issues when in the belly of the female, whatever. Maybe the temperature was too high. I don't know what happened, but only two of them made it to adulthood. Like I got one that had a very bad respiratory infection. I had to put it down. The ones with no tongues that I mentioned, the ones with the very bad ulcers on their skins. So I had to put a lot of them down because they weren't viable. But the ones that were viable, holy smokes, dude. Let me show you the female. So the hyper female is she looks like a pure Eastern, right? She's like about 500 grams, I would
Okay.
say. So she's pretty okay for like pure hyper Eastern standards, right? This is 50% Northern, which is a het hyper.
Yeah, that's got to be at least 700 there. 700
It's
grams.
she is 600 grams on an empty stomach. So she is 100 and something grams bigger than her mom, which is wild.
Well, and
So
also she might grow a little more too, not being
probably,
super old.
but she has such a great body structure. She is so nicely wide and so healthy looking. She like you know that this girl will make nice babies. She is gonna be able to carry at least a dozen babies in her when she gets pregnant. Like no joke. I was so fascinated by her from when she got born. She was always so nice looking. she
She's got some
she
nice black that came in too from the het hyper also.
sorry.
She's got some nice black that came in from the het hyper. Like you could see it like coming really nice on her tail and
So
her back.
yeah, exactly. So she is a very nice example of what Joe mentioned about the gene being incomplete dominant. Because you basically got the normal wild type phenotype showing, but also the het hyper influence, which gives it this very nice black appearance and all the banding that's just way darker than the the actual normal wild type. So yeah, you can see it very nicely in this particular one. The male is more not as nice looking, but he's still a het hyper. He looks more like his dad, like a classic, but he's
Yeah.
also has some black undertones to his body. So yeah, this is my future breeder that I hope she'll make me some nice some nice hypers that are outcrossed and some nice holdbacks. Let me just put her back real quick.
Do you
Yeah.
plan on making some visuals and some pos heads to hold back, or maybe
Um,
outcross the other visuals you make to some of your other animals?
yeah. So I wanna make as many as I can, and then see which ones are the nicest from those. Because I want to select for the nicest animals possible, not only in looks but in behavior. I want to see them feisty. I want to see them eat. I want them to thrive because I know how the struggle I went through with this original hyper that I had, and I don't want any future breeder that buys from me to go through that struggle because it's not worth it. For some people, it's really not worth it. So yeah, I wanna hold back some really nice males I would hope, and breed those males back to some other unrelated stuff. Like even one or two females, I would love to hold back from this line, and then keep out crossing.
As you get more of those, are you thinking cut back on some of your other stuff,
Uh,
or I
I'm not
keep?
sure on I'm not sure on cutting back because I wanna at some point I wanna have enough outcrossed lines to where I can say, okay, I have this line of hyper, and then go to this other line of hyper, which is like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 7 generations outcrossed, and just put them together and know that I can produce a full litter of visual hypers that are perfectly fine and are not, I don't know, they don't have issues and they're not inbred.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanna have a very diverse gene pool, even with heads and visuals, you know. So I'm not sure about cutting back. I only want to grow from here.
Well, and that's smart, and the way you're doing it in general is smart. You're putting different blood in, you're strengthening it, and I
Yeah,
know a lot of people had issues early on from their stock, but it seems like as it's outcrossed enough, you should be good.
yeah. Um, Sorry.
So next season, then, are you thinking your visual hyper female try to do one of your like your toffee male or some of the other stuff you have, or make some more 100%?
So yeah, I last season I tried my toffee male. Unfortunately, I don't think they are compatible as animals, just individual animals, because the tall female, yeah, he's enthusiastic about breeding, but not enough. Compared to my northern, pure northern, he is not as aggressive, and apparently this girl needs like a very aggressive male to actually breed her. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to. I'll try. I'll definitely try. I have two females ready for him. That yeah, he almost managed to breed them, but I don't think they were synced enough to breed. But my main focus for next season will be the hypers. Yeah, definitely. The
Do you
male, the het male, the breed the het male to his sister. Breed the het male to his mom in order to hopefully prove out some hidden recessives if they're there. You know, because you never know with these things. You know, they where they come from, what genetic background they have, and yeah, hopefully produce a few good hypers, a few boss hats. You know, that's the main goal.
Oh, and it's definitely seemed like a lot of the lines, between the whites and the hypers were definitely crossed with other genetics, so you never know what will pop up.
Yeah, that's what I'm counting on. You know, just play the genetic lottery, see what happens every time.
Uh, Last season, did you like modify your breeding schedule or process much, or do it pretty standard?
No. I'm doing it pretty standard from the beginning. What I did with Irian Jayas, I'm basically repeating with Northerns. I'm tweaking it a little bit for my hyper because she's a pure Eastern. I go down to 15 degrees Celsius for her in the winter.
Okay.
I couldn't do that with like my Irian Jayas, of course. I stayed at 20 degrees. I go to around 18 to 19 degrees for my Northerns, but that's about it. I start in October, I think. Yeah, I start to not feed them as much, to like not feed them at all. Then I start to lowering the temperatures. I start lowering the light cycles. Then after that is done, I move them to my cold room, which is dark, and they stay there until around 15th of May, and then start with the light again. I increase the light cycles, then I move them back to my main room. And for my females, actually, I don't give them full heat just yet. I just keep them at around 27 to 28 degrees hotspot, because what happens is uh, with females, if you put them on full heat, you shorten their breeding window, so they might close it off before the males are even ready. That's what I managed to learn over time. So yeah, I basically keep them at 27 degrees. They can still digest food. I pair them up beginning of 15th of May. I start pairings. If they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. I just keep trying every other day. And until June, everything should be done. Basically, I pair 5 to 7 times just to be sure of what I'm doing. And then that's it. Season closed. I feed, I monitor, I just wait for the babies. That's basically it.
Do you have the males cooler around that 27, or do you have them even colder than that?
Oh, actually, I put the males on full heat from the beginning,
Okay.
because what that does. I've seen it just boost up their metabolisms. The males are ready sooner. They go through their shed cycle after brumation sooner. They shed. After they shed, I just see sperm plugs everywhere, and I know, okay, they're locked and ready. My original male even knows what's up. Like, I lift up the lid, he's already perched up on the lip of the tub, and he's just waiting. Okay, where's the girl? Where's the girl? Just give her to me. And he's basically on her from the air. I didn't even leave her from my hand, and the male is already latched onto her.
Well, and
It's,
they,
it's
I think they can smell those pheromones in the air too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My when I was brewmating, the male was definitely smelling the other males, and he was so angry. He started attacking my hand. He started attacking the water bowl, and I was like, yeah, okay, just put him back. Just leave him alone.
Do you cremate them in like your basement then, or
Uh,
just another
it's
section of the house?
I just have a separate room in the house where I can open up a window. You just crack up a window when there's like -10, -11 degrees outside in full blown winter. In the house it gets around 15 degrees.
Okay.
And I even keep them on the ground to make sure that the temperatures are low enough. And it never goes too low. You're never in danger, you know. I monitor them every day. I even spoke with my wife. Hey, don't schedule uh, anywhere to go, like any vacations, because I have to be at home. I have to be monitoring these animals. I have to be monitoring temperatures every day. Make sure everything is on point. You know.
Yeah,
So
you know, it
that's
definitely
how I
makes
do
it
it.
can't leave.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty okay with that. Like, give me just a second. My lights are on timer. I have to take care of that because in a few seconds it will turn off. Okay, just give me 1 second.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it would have turned off anyways because I have it on the timer. I have 12 hours going on in the light cycle now until brumation.
Do you see any like physical changes when any of the males or females are more receptive? I know like the males dropping sperm plugs, so that one's easy to tell when they're ready.
That's the most obvious one, and the male spacing and whatever. Uh, didn't see much in the females, to be honest. I don't know, they're behaving very normally, like in the rest of the year. They're eating, they're basking, they're whatever. What I've heard from another breeder is that the female's belly becomes kind of jelly-like, so it's softer. The female's belly is softer, so that's how you kind of know that she's in season, because if her belly is harder, she's not receptive or whatever. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
I didn't see that change. So yeah.
Have you so I'm not good at this, but have you tried palpating the blue tongues at all?
Uh, for follicles or for what exactly?
Yeah, for follicles.
No, no, no. Didn't think about that. So the when I'm handling them, their belly tends to tense up anyways. So no, not really. No, I do that with ball pythons like every season, all the time to check for follicles. But no, haven't thought about doing that for blue tongues. No.
And I don't think it's necessarily needed, as people have got it babies tons of time not doing it. uh it was just some John mentioned he's done before that I haven't heard many people talking about.
Okay. Yeah. If someone does that and has success with it, I would like to learn about that. To actually feel some things.
Yeah, it'd be worth trying. Figure, worst case, it doesn't change anything if you don't.
Sure. So, how about you? Like, are you not getting into these wild morphs that you guys are having in the US? Like, when am I gonna see some ivories in your collection, or at least an albino or something? Like, when
So
is that happening?
we got the one white. We got
So you have one.
yeah, that one's John's. That one's been here. We got babies, not this season, but the season before. So those should be big enough. One thing, like you mentioned on the Easterns, them being smaller, it does seem like this one might have either be smaller from inbreeding or smaller from different blood.
Uh,
Because
what
even
genetics? What genetics does that one have?
so, as we know, it's just a white northern, but some of the babies do have more melanin. So it's
Mhm.
possible there could be het hyper or just from the northern that we bred to her.
Yeah, yeah. You can't exclude anything. You cannot exclude that. That's possible.
So that's hopefully next year they'll be the size. Them they seem like they grew slower, and I don't know if it's just the eastern blood or what, but uh,
Might might be.
one
Uh,
thing like that, they were outcrossed, and the male that was bred to her is the dad to the one we're trying to prove out. So that's a good thing and a bad thing. We might have double hets, or we might not be able to tell because the white northern being, takes everything away.
yeah, yeah. Well, when you're gonna do that pairing and you're gonna have the results, the joy is gonna be that much bigger when those surprise whites are gonna pop out, isn't it?
Yeah. And then
Yeah, I'm
like
about to. Sorry.
like you mentioned on like your original hypers, so
Yeah.
there we have a pair of hets, but they're not the best breeders, and one of them's not the strongest, I guess be the best way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely some inbreeding depression. So hopefully we can get those to outcross, but they've
Is it the male that's the issue you found, or is it in both animals?
so the female was a little smaller the year we got her the breed, and she didn't do anything. So it
Mhm.
could have just been that. But even then, she, like some of the pure Eastern hypers, when talking to Roger, they have some of that.
The eye problem.
Yeah, like that virus that starts on it. So you could tell it's they have that. So they need that outcrossing, and
Yeah, yeah,
without that, it makes them
yeah,
a little
yeah.
harder.
That's so strange because my female kind of developed something similar, but only in one eye. You can see it very clearly. Her eye was cloudy.
Yep.
I was like, okay, that was the day I learned about fisheye syndrome. But to my surprise, it went away. I didn't give her any treatments and anything. I just fed her as normally, and the issue kind of went away on its own.
That's good.
It didn't blind her or anything.
It didn't what?
It didn't make her blind, so it didn't give her any further issues.
Well, that's
Just
good.
like cloudy, and then it disappeared on its own.
See, like one of them, the cloudy stayed, and it's you can tell it's a little limit, like maybe a little cataracts, I guess be the best way to put it. But with some outcrossing, she could still see good out of the one eye, and the other's probably maybe half vision.
Mhm. The good thing about blue tongues is you can still feed them because they go off of smell a lot. So just focus on putting more weight on her. Just get her to about 500 grams, 600 grams if possible, and then just put her to your best northern male and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. Optimistically, maybe one of the heads from the white or something. That way, it's if anything, it has a little Eastern blood, but it's primarily Northern and completely unrelated.
Uh, I
Yes.
can give I can give you some pointers if you want. If you have trouble feeding any blue tongues or anyone watching that has difficult feeders. So this is what I've done. I feed a lot of what they're called um, chicken gizzards. So you know
Yep.
that chicken gizzard that's cut in half basically. So I have a bunch of those frosted. I defrost them. And the way I feed those, by the way, the chicken gizzards, they're very high in protein. So I cut them in a very specific way in which the chicken gizzard is basically shaped like a noodle. You can basically cut it as thick or as thin as possible, but the thing is, you cut that chicken gizzard, you go like in a spiral, and then you get like a very long piece of meat out of it, right? You
Yep.
you understand that. So what I do is I mix that with some egg yolk and some cat paste, like cat food that's in paste form. I
Okay.
put all my supplements like calcium and vitamins, whatever, in that sauce, and then I mix up that chicken gizzard noodle in that sauce, right? And I present it to my blue tongue that doesn't want to eat as much, and basically that sauce is like high scenting or whatever, and they absolutely love egg yolks. And
Yep.
what happens is the animal starts at one end, starts eating, right, but then as it eats, the chicken meat noodle never ends. It only ends the basically chicken gizzard ends, so it's forced to eat the entire portion of food. So you're basically fooling your animal into eating a bigger portion of food.
And
That's how that's how I got my hyper to breeding size.
um, I think she'll be good. I'm Do you know like what's the biggest yours has gotten? What
Uh,
I
my
like has yours gotten over like 650? Do you think
so my breeders.
your hyper?
My hyper. No, no, no. My hyper is at best. I would say 550. I think I got her to about 600, but she was on always on a full belly. So on an empty belly, she is about 500 something grams. When she's like prime and ready to breed, then she has her babies. Like she gets huge after before she drops those babies. She's around 700 grams, and then she drops those babies, and she's all the way down to 400 grams. Like you wouldn't believe it. She gets so skinny. But then she starts eating, and she gains it all back very quickly.
That is the
So
nice thing. They are usually pretty good at getting back on food after giving birth. It makes
yeah,
life easier. Um, Now I know you have some of the other genetics. Are you gonna add albino or any of the other ones soon, or gonna wait to put some of
yes.
the hypers to it?
So yeah, I started with the hypers, right? I had enough time to start reading these. So yeah, I got the project off the ground, and immediately I searched for something. I searched for my toffee male. I got the toffee male. I have a white northern on the way, by the way. I uh, I managed to secure one of those. So not this season, but next season I will have that one, which I'm pretty sure is a male. He will be at my house in about September, like middle of September after Ham Show. So I'm very excited about that guy. I chose a very nice looking one, which I can't wait to post and do my usual reels and promote him. The albinos are very very hard to source. I had one male albino that I could never got to breed. Like he was so difficult. Really good eater, had no problems with him, but he could never finish his job when it comes to breeding. He latched on. The female dragged him all over the tub, but he could never actually mount the female, so I gave up on that male.
Yeah,
Uh,
that
yeah,
makes
I'm,
it
I'm
hard.
I'm searching for hats. Yeah, I really want to buy some hats and just breed those hats, and or maybe even a female if I am fortunate enough to find a female that's proven female. I'll gladly add her to my collection and breed her to whatever I have. But the real goal, and that would come no surprise to anyone, is the white-sided, which
Yep.
is the real MVP of the Blue-Tongues. So that's what I'm working towards.
Well, yeah, adding pattern to that gives you a lot of different options, and
Adding hyper to that, it just creates the panda Blue-Tongue, which is basically is anyone's fantasy. Having that black and white skink is pretty much everything. Bucket list animal when it comes to Blue-Tongues.
well, and see, I guess the hard thing with me is then I'd want to add more to it, like try to get the albino version on top of it, but that's only with time.
Yeah, you
It
know what? I'm gonna be very interested to see what the albino panda looks like, because the thing with this complex of white side patchwork complex is the gene takes away of the actual pigment of the pattern part of the animal that has pattern. It takes away a lot of the pigment. So I don't know what the final outcome of adding albino to that would be. I think it would be kind of disappointing, honestly.
It definitely might, but I think it's worth trying for
Yeah,
sure.
sure, sure. I can't wait to see what Joe is gonna do with them because I know he's done a lot with that, and he's very close to having an albino panda. So it might be mind blowing. It might just be just average looking. Might just be like you've seen the white sided platinum, right? It's sure
Yeah.
it's a complex animal, but doesn't compare to the simple panda like the hyper white sided doesn't compare to it. You know, the simplest combination is the best.
Well, and is that is a good point to add. Definitely sometimes certain combinations it's better just those two. And has there been the T plus version of that out or no?
Yeah, if you look at Joe's page, he actually did. I think he calls it a violet, which is the T plus white side. It's it's basically I don't know, a more washed out version of the actual white side. The actual stripe on the back is kind of lavenderish. That's why he went for the violet name of the morph. It's really
So,
cool. I love it. It's really awesome.
well, it's
I also love
you
the reverse whites. If you paid attention to those combos, the reverse white sided is basically the white northern white sided. That's basically the closest you can get to a pure leucistic blue tongue. Basically, the whitest of the white blue tongues you can get on the market. The eyes are black. The skink is just pure China white. Its
yeah,
tongue is pink. So everything is basically a leucistic animal, which is awesome.
yeah, and I don't know if we'll ever get those over here. Like, maybe some came through before CITES and maybe that will get changed, but
I don't know how your white northern came through, but your ivory that certainly came into U.S. soil kind of shady. But if that one
well,
came,
well now
if that who knows?
now
Why not white sided?
now US doesn't let any in or out, whereas like back then I think John got that one like 11 years ago. So in 2014 it wasn't as they weren't CITES then. It was just normal.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. Like, just I don't want to be a proponent of this, but just wait until someone pays a good merchant with a boat and does a trip to I don't know China and comes to some U.S. shoreline and he gets paid a lot of money. You guys will get white-sided skink very very easily.
That one's out of my budget, sadly. But yeah,
So I'm sure there's some crazy guy out there with a bunch of cash and he could get his hands on some white-sided genetics. Just make a lot of money
it
through
it
that.
does seem, especially some people, just more so in general, not even in the reptile community, they can do a
Yeah,
bit with their excess money that can make things work in their favor.
sure, sure.
Um, so you mentioned the ham show. Do you just attend it frequently or go to look around? Do you vend it all?
I wish I would attend it. So, being in Romania and being just a guy with no driver's license, I cannot attend it that often as I would like to. I attended it in 2016, I think, 17 or even 50. I can't even remember. It was so long ago. That was only once when I bought just I bought the pastel ball python, so I went all the way to Ham Show to pick it up. But fortunately, we in Romania have a very nice community of people that do these shows frequently, and people go there and pick up the animals that we over here bought. and they're just a few guys that go with their personal car. They pick up the animals and they bring them back to us as they go towards their house, towards
Yep.
their home in their specific location, and they just stop and they give us our animals basically from ham. So that's how we get our animals, the ones that can't go physically there.
Well, that's nice. It's a good service that they're able to provide, and I'm sure they. So
They also make good money. We pay them pretty nicely for that.
I was just gonna say they probably charge you a little fee that makes it worth their
Yeah,
while, and it helps you out. It works out.
yeah, and we just happily paid them because we don't want to drive 12, 14, 16 hours, how many hours it takes to get there, and it's super exhausting, and not everybody has a car and not everybody has time to do that. So we are more than happy to pay some guy, however much he charges us to like take animals to ham or bring animals to ham. He does both things for us.
Well, and that's a good thing you mentioned right there. You could do the opposite. You can send some there that pays for that courier fee. It gives you a little extra cash to get something else for you, and
So our courier, I think this was last year. He always does vlogs for this. He mentioned in his vlog that this is the first year I sent more animals to ham than I'm bringing more animals. So a lot of people sent a lot of animals to ham to actually sell. They had pre-ordered animals from like people from Germany or wherever from Europe, and yeah, they sold a bunch of them.
is that primarily what you do with ball pythons then that you produce, or are you holding a lot
Yeah,
back?
yeah. I'm fortunate enough to have a buyer that basically buys in bulk. So I do my pairings. I aim for particular genetics that I'm planning to hold back, and then those are going to be my stepping stones for my ultimate future projects. And whatever is just simple pieds or just double heads or like I don't know some other genes that are head for pieds or whatever clowns I'm working with, the guy just buys them off of me like in bulk.
Yeah.
Not crazy amount of money, but enough for me to like be okay with. And just get them moving.
Well, and otherwise for you to do it, it would add more time. It'd take you longer, and in the position you're in, it might
Sure,
not
there's
be
no
worth it currently.
point to like keep 30, 40, 50 animals that I don't have anything to do with. I just sell them in bulk, get however much I can because ball pythons in Europe or anywhere else when it comes to just simple genetics, like one or two gene combos or normals or whatever, it's like selling ice in the Arctic. It's just crazy to like even people. I even sometimes even give stuff away because people only buy hatchlings, and I don't know some normals that are het for pieds or just one incomplete dominant gene that is het for pied or some other gene, and just no one wants to buy it because they just don't want it. And I just give it away for free so I can make room for my other stuff that I want to grow up and breed. You
Well,
know.
and, it works out. It ends up being a pet for someone, and they're happy in the end. And
Yeah, and there are other breeders that are smaller than myself than that would love to like get a head start in this industry. That are just enthusiastic about breeding. They are just starting off. They saw others like me. They saw YouTube and they just want to breed. They're passionate and they want to do something with these animals. So I'm just happy to just help them out, and that also helps me.
yeah, does it seem like whether it's Europe or Romania, like the reptile community is growing?
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's kind of stable. I don't know if it's growing. Yeah, there are new people all the time that are getting into the hobby. Romania is kind of small in this instance. There's not a lot of people. There were some people that now they're out of it, or they're just doing completely something else, just like I don't know, chameleons or just leopard geckos or whatever, corn snakes. Uh, some new people that are getting in and they're keeping it like going. I've met people with a lot of money that just bought just to have animals. They didn't actually think about what they're buying. They just wanted to buy,
Yeah.
and they ended up nowhere and just got out of it completely. So it's it's interesting, but in ball pythons it's not that great. It used to be good, but it's not anymore for
So
Romania.
do you think you'll, as time goes, have more blue tongues in your collection and less ball pythons?
Sure, I already do.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many lizards. I think now because of the ball python breeding season, um, I think my ball pythons outnumber my lizards now. But I definitely plan on doing more stuff with blue tongues because the way I see it, blue tongues are what ball pythons used to be like 20 or 30 years ago. Uh, don't tell me that like 20 years ago you can give away a head pied or a head clown or look at a head pied and say, ugh, I just want to give this away for 100 euros. No, that I don't think that was ever a thing 20 years ago. Uh, yeah, with blue tongues, you have head hypers going for like 1,000 euros. Like the small ones, you have the big ones that are breeder size. The ones that I have now, if I wanted to, I could just sell them for 1,500 all the way to like 2,000 euros if I wanted to. And I don't even think I could just keep them for too long if I if I had them listed.
Yeah.
Especially that they are outcrossed and people know what that means and for what that adds to future breedings and whatever. These are pretty rare animals for European standards. And these are, I think, these are the future when it comes to morph breeding. Yeah, ball pythons. There's still a future for those.
Yeah.
But you got all these crazy combos going for 10, 20, 30,000 dollars. The Desert Ghost Desantic combos or some Pied combos. Yeah, you have them, and I'm also working towards some of those. But Blue Tongues is where it's that untapped potential where people in Europe aren't really doing it, and
Well,
and I'm actually working towards that and less of what the ball python part is for.
and I also think like here, and I'm sure in Europe by you, like the black dragon, it's a beautiful, solid black animal, but not everyone can keep that big of a lizard. Where a blue
Wait,
tongue,
you're talking about the monitor, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, the
yeah,
monitor is a very niche species. Not a lot of, how you said, not a lot of people can do it. But blue tongues, and on the other hand, are basically anyone can keep a blue tongue. That's what makes them so great, and that's what makes them popular, and like what makes them in that perfect pet reptile category. I'm sure you've seen Brian Barczyk's video about the next big thing in reptiles.
yeah,
That's also a big reason why I'm into blue tongues because I recognized that potential. I didn't even like blue tongues before I seen that video. I thought they were kind of boring, but uh, learning about what makes a blue tongue a good pet, and then learning about all its genetic potential with all the paint jobs and whatever. Just a no-brainer.
well, and I don't know how many around like some of the more red stuff too. That's other stuff that could be mixed in, and even the hypers, some of those have been more red produced.
And the header from US, the fairy tales,
Yep.
she mixed her pitch black line with the T minus albino. The things she got of those out of those were absolutely incredible. Like the oranges, I honestly believe some of them were lavas, or like that spectacular orange. That the one that she named Koi, I believe.
Yeah,
That
that one's
one,
beautiful.
yeah, you've seen that one. Like that, like what the hell? That looks like a lava. What do you mean? And it's just a normal T minus albino. It's nothing special, but she just added this special line bred Blutan to it, and she made something great. So imagine in like future 10 years what you can do only from that. Not even mentioning hyper, not even mentioning the toffee. So a lot of potential.
So looking forward, what's like your 5-year plan? You mentioned before we started that you're kind of expanding.
Yeah. So as I talked about, I we bought a house. So I'm hoping, yeah, that's gonna be what's gonna happen. We're gonna move to that house next year. So I have all this new space that's available for me to expand. Uh, what I'm planning to do is basically just make more hats, like bring in that white northern, grow it up, breed it, make make some potential double heads from that one because I'm breeding it to head hypers.
Yep.
Keep a lot of that back. Hopefully, sell some of that, make some extra cash because I have a head white sided on the horizon that I'm eyeing and that I'm pretty much thinking about every day of my life. Heads are going for about 7K that we in Europe have access to.
Yep.
And the good thing about the head white sided is that some of them have the white have the white patches on their tongues, so you know that it's a head white sided. You're not just giving out 7K for a random normal looking skink, you know.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the from what I've seen, the visuals are going for about 20-30K. I'm happy about that, but at the same time, that's not in my budget anytime soon. I'm pretty happy that people are selling the heads for less, and yeah, I'm planning to like make some money and buy one of those and just grow it up, see it do well, and just breed it to my hypers and make some visual heads that I can see, you know, from the from the pink patches of their tongues. So I know that they're head for white and head for hypers, and just pair those together and hopefully create those dream animals that I'm thinking about all the time.
Well, that's
That's
awesome.
what I'm working towards. Yeah.
And that's exciting. And, you got a lot of the pieces already to really jumpstart the project, so to speak.
Oh, it's all coming together. It's just a matter of time, and I have to be patient and just grow my collection and yeah, just look forward, you know, to my goal.
Well, I appreciate you coming on in your time. If in the future when you got animals available, you is the best place Blue Tongue TV on Instagram for people to hit you up, or
Yeah, so anywhere. My main platform on Facebook is the Millennium Ball Pythons page. You can anyone can write me there. Uh, if you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube, that's how you find me. You find the Blue-Tongued TV Europe. It's the logo with the black blue tongue and on the white background with the blue writing. That's how you see it. It's very obvious which
Yeah.
one. So yeah, that's basically the three platforms. I'm Blue-Tongued TV Europe on Instagram, on TikTok, and YouTube. And yeah, Facebook. You can find me on the Millennium Ball Pythons page.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. I look forward to seeing all the stuff you make in the future, and you have a great rest of your night there.
Sure, you too, man, and thank you so much for inviting me. This was so unexpected and an awesome surprise.
Oh,
I can't wait just
glad you were able to work it out.
yeah, sure. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be here like in the future. Show
Yeah,
you
well,
some great.
it'd be nice to do a round two. You get some double heads going, or some maybe, who knows, maybe you'll get some double visuals before next year.
Sure, sure, that would be awesome. I can't wait to talk about those and to show you those. Yeah, see you around, I guess. Stay
All right,
tuned, everyone.
thanks again.
Thank you.